Chike and Funmi knew they couldn't keep their engagement a secret forever. Though they dreaded Amina's reaction, they decided to announce their union. Funmi posted a picture on social media, her hand adorned with the diamond ring, Chike standing proudly beside her. The caption read, "Forever and always, can't wait to spend my life with you." The internet exploded with reactions. Some were supportive, praising their love despite the age gap. Others called it scandalous. But the only reaction that mattered was Amina's, and it was pure rage. As soon as she saw the post, she stormed into her father's house, phone clutched tightly in her shaking hands. "Dad, how could you?" she yelled, her voice laced with hurt. "With Funmi, my best friend, this is a betrayal," Chike sighed, expecting this reaction. "Amina, I know this is hard for you, but Funmi makes me happy. I don't care. She was my friend, and you..." Amina's voice broke. "You were supposed to love Mum, not her." She turned to Funmi, eyes blazing. "You disgust me. You had the whole world to choose from, but you chose him." "Amina, please," Funmi whispered, but Amina wasn't listening. She stormed out of the house, vowing never to forgive them. Lagos stood tall with its skyline of wealth and ambition, and at its heart was Chike Okonkwo, a man who had conquered the oil and gas industry. A widower at 50, Chike had built his empire from scratch, earning respect and admiration. Yet, beneath the powerful exterior, he was a man who carried an emptiness no amount of success could fill. His wife's passing had left a void that even the passage of years could not heal. His only comfort was his daughter, Amina, a bright and ambitious 27-year-old who had inherited his drive and determination. Their bond was unbreakable. Amina was his reason for pushing forward. She admired her father deeply and often worried about his loneliness. She wished he would find love again, but she never imagined the direction fate would take. Amina had always been close to Funmi, a 28-year-old woman with striking confidence and charm. Their friendship had stood the test of time, surviving childhood, university, and even their first jobs. They were more than best friends, they were sisters in spirit. Funmi often visited Chike's home, and he had come to see her as family. She was polite, ambitious, and always brought laughter into their home. But, as the holiday season approached, an unexpected shift began. Chike found himself noticing Funmi in a way he never had before. It started with fleeting glances, lingering thoughts, and the realization that her laughter filled his once lonely space. But was it right? Could he truly allow himself to feel this way? Chike wrestled with his emotions. Every time he saw Funmi, his heart skipped a beat, but his mind screamed at him to stop. She's Amina's best friend. This is wrong. He tried to dismiss his feelings, chalking them up to loneliness, but they only grew stronger. Funmi, on the other hand, began to sense the shift. The way Chike looked at her, the way his voice softened when he spoke to her, it sent chills through her. She told herself she was imagining things, but deep down, she knew. And despite her better judgment, she found herself drawn to him too. Days turned into weeks, and the tension between Chike and Funmi grew unbearable. The stolen glances became longer, the accidental touches lingered a bit too much, and the silence between them was louder than words. One evening, after Amina had gone out, Chike and Funmi found themselves alone. A simple conversation turned into something deeper. "You shouldn't look at me like that," Funmi whispered, her heart pounding. Chike hesitated before replying. "I don't want to, but I can't help it." Their confession hung in the air like a dangerous secret, waiting to be exposed. Despite their internal battles, Chike and Funmi couldn't stay away from each other. It started with secret meetings, late-night walks, whispered conversations, and lingering goodbyes. Each moment drew them closer until they could no longer deny what was happening. Their affair was thrilling yet terrifying. Every stolen kiss carried the weight of betrayal. They knew Amina would never approve, but their hearts refused to listen. "I shouldn't be doing this," Funmi murmured after one of their secret meetings. Chike simply held her close, knowing they had already crossed the line. Guilt began to consume Funmi. She loved Amina like a sister, yet here she was, sneaking around with her father. It was a betrayal of the highest kind. One night, she made a decision. She would tell Amina the truth. Amina met Funmi at their usual cafe, unaware of the storm brewing. When Funmi finally spoke, "Amina, there's something I need to tell you. It's about your dad." Amina laughed, assuming it was a joke, but when Funmi said, "I have feelings for him. I think I love him," Amina's expression shifted from amusement to pure rage. Amina's body tensed, her hands curling into fists. "You're joking, right?" she asked, voice shaking. When Funmi didn't answer, Amina's anger exploded. "Are you out of your mind? My father? You're supposed to be my best friend." Before she could stop herself, Amina's palm met Funmi's cheek in a sharp slap. The cafe went silent. Tears welled in Funmi's eyes, but she stood her ground. "I never meant to hurt you," she whispered, but Amina was beyond reason. "Get out of my sight and never come near me or my father again." Despite Amina's warning, Chike and Funmi found themselves back in each other's arms. The forbidden nature of their relationship only made their love stronger. They met in secret, away from prying eyes, their connection deepening with each encounter. One evening, Chike held Funmi's hands and whispered, "I know this is wrong, but I can't help how I feel. You make me happy." Funmi hesitated, but then replied, "I feel the same way, Chike. I don't care what anyone thinks. I want to be with you." Chike had never been more certain of anything in his life. He wanted Funmi, not just in secret, but in the open. One night, he took her to a private dinner and proposed. Funmi, despite her fears, said yes. But deep down, they both knew the storm had yet to come. Amina would never forgive them, and when she found out, the consequences would be devastating. Despite the fallout, Chike and Funmi moved forward with their wedding plans. It wasn't how they imagined it, but they clung to each other, determined to weather the storm. Amina, on the other hand, was spiraling. She avoided all calls from her father, shut out Funmi, and even started skipping work. The betrayal consumed her thoughts. How could they do this to her? Her friends tried to reason with her, but their words fell on deaf ears. Amina was no longer thinking clearly. She was obsessed, with anger, with revenge, with making sure this wedding never happened. A formal invitation arrived at Amina's doorstep. She ripped it open, her hands trembling. "Mr. Chike Okonkwo and Miss Funmi Adesanya cordially invite you to their wedding." She laughed bitterly. They really expected her to come. She threw the invitation in the trash, but the words haunted her. The wedding was happening, whether she liked it or not, and she had a decision to make. Amina couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw her father slipping a ring onto Funmi's finger. The betrayal twisted inside her, dark and suffocating. Then a thought crept into her mind. If Funmi wasn't in the picture, none of this would be happening. She sat up, staring at the small kitchen knife on the counter. She reached for it, running a finger along the blade. Could she do it? Could she put an end to this? Her reflection in the window seemed to smirk back at her, as if daring her to follow through. Damp. The venue was breathtaking. Flowers lined the aisle, soft music played, and guests whispered excitedly. Chike stood at the altar, waiting for his bride, unaware that danger lurked among the guests. Amina arrived, dressed in a simple gown, her face unreadable, but hidden inside her bag was the knife, her heart pounding in rhythm with its weight. The officiant spoke. "If anyone objects to this union, speak now or forever hold your peace." Amina stood up. Gasps filled the room as Amina's voice rang out. "I object." Chike's expression fell. Funmi's hands trembled. The entire hall froze in shock. Then, Amina reached into her bag. The glint of a blade flashed under the wedding lights. Chike's breath caught. Amina put the knife down. Amina shook her head. "You betrayed me, Dad. You and Funmi. How could you do this to me?" Funmi stepped forward, hands raised. "Amina, please!" Amina's grip tightened, and then, in one swift motion, she lunged forward. The wedding hall erupted into screams. Funmi collapsed, the knife embedded in her stomach. Blood spread across her white gown. Chike rushed to her side, his face etched with horror. "Funmi, stay with me!" Amina's hand shook as she stared at the blood on the blade. The reality of what she had done hit her all at once. She dropped the knife and fell to her knees. "I didn't want it to end like this. I just wanted things to go back to how they were." The police arrived within minutes, sirens wailing in the distance. They arrested Amina, who didn't resist. She was too numb to care. Chike held Funmi's lifeless body, his entire world crumbling. He had lost everything in one night: his daughter, his love, his happiness. As the crowd dispersed, the wedding hall stood empty, broken and drenched in tragedy. She had let her anger destroy everything. Amina sat in a cold, dark prison cell, her mind replaying the moment over and over again. She had let her anger destroy everything. She received no visitors, not even her father, and for the first time, true regret sank into her bones. Would she ever be forgiven? Chike withdrew from the world. His business crumbled, his once proud empire now meaningless. He spent his days alone, staring at the engagement ring he had once given Funmi. Amina was behind bars. Funmi was gone. There was nothing left to fight for. The end. What would you have done if you discovered your dad was in a relationship with your best friend and was about to get married? Drop your thoughts on the comments section and subscribe.